Lisa.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome back to the A&M podcast. Today we're going to be talking about unpopular opinions.
Like,
because I got a lot of them.
yeah. I feel like I do too. I feel like most of my opinions are unpopular.
That's true. I wrote down a list
Like my love for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's unpopular.
That's not that unpopular.
No, actually,
that's just unpopular.
It used to be unpopular.
It's unpopular. Oh, yeah. Now you have an Eagles hat on today.
Yeah, I'm wearing an Eagles hat.
Yeah. So, anyways, I wrote some of mine down because I feel like as they were coming to me, I didn't want to forget them because sometimes I get a little, stage struck or stage fright.
Right.
When I'm on here, when you ask me questions and then I blank, and then later on, like Paul Rudd.
Yep.
Paul Rudd, not remembering his name has been kind of sticking with me.
Yeah. For those of you who don't watch the video version of the podcast, on our first episode where we couldn't remember the names of anyone in I Love You Man, is that the movie?
It's I Love You Man.
Yeah, it was Paul Rudd that was in that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, and I can't remember the guy's name now, the actor's name, but it was also the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Met Your Mother, yeah.
we were both right.
Also,
And
Paul Rudd was Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd
was,
I guess, is still. I don't
know if they're still
haven't heard.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, we're getting way off topic. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion.
Oh, and if you're watching the video version of this, we're filming at nighttime, so it looks a little cooler.
Yeah, if you're watching the video, we got a blue glow from above. It looks like
looks cooler. Also, my glasses. I'm wishing I had anti-glare glasses.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Anyways.
If you're just listening, you don't get any of this, so this part's boring.
Okay. So, let me just cut to the chase then. So, my first unpopular opinion that I feel like is a real unpopular opinion because of the fan base is that Friends. I don't think it's a good show. I don't think it's that funny. I think it's kind of overrated. I feel like people hype it up a lot. I feel like people make jokes about it a lot. I really don't think it's that funny.
See, I think so. Side note, by the way, Friends, I saw a commercial with this. That's the only reason I know it, is celebrating its 30th anniversary. So 30 years since Friends came out, which I think is part. But I think that's part of the reason you feel that way about it, because
overhyped.
A lot of the I don't think. I mean, at the time, I understand why it was so popular.
Yeah.
Because
maybe.
it was timely. It was.
Yeah, but so was Seinfeld, and I love Seinfeld.
Well,
I think Seinfeld is so funny.
I mean, certain shows, like not to get way off topic on TV shows, but I feel like in 20 years, you'll put episodes of like Modern Family on, and you'll still laugh at them because it's just that kind of show.
But I've known people like my age and even a couple years younger, and they have like they love Friends. Like they've had like Friends themed parties and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like that's, But I do know that a lot of people, some people, I don't understand you, but I know that they don't think that The Office is funny, and that's fine.
Right.
We can agree to disagree. But that's my first unpopular opinion, is that Friends, I don't think it's that funny.
You don't think it's that funny? Oh, okay.
Like Seinfeld has a lot of really like witty, funny parts, and it was filmed around the same time. Friends is just kind of like, people feel way too passionate about it.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. That's a tough one. I liked Friends, but it's not a show that today, there's reruns of everything on, and if I'm looking for something to watch and Friends is on, it's not something I'm going to stop on. But
Exactly.
when it was on, I liked it.
But if Seinfeld's on, you're gonna stop. If The Office is on, you're probably
The
gonna
Office,
stop.
I might stop. The Office, I probably
Modern
would stop.
Family, that's a funny
Modern
one.
Family, if I'm looking
You're
for
gonna
something
stop.
like that, I would stop.
It's like good background noise TV.
Yeah.
That's what I think of Seinfeld is. Like if I'm watching it, but if I fall asleep to it, no big deal.
Yeah.
I've seen it a million times anyways.
Yeah, that's...
Do you have one, or do you want me to keep going down my list?
Keep going down your list. I had one, but it left, so I'm going to wait for it to come back.
Old people problems.
That's an unpopular opinion right there.
It's okay. The same thing happens to me too. Okay, my next one is that I think that toilet paper should I think that toilet paper should go underneath, not over.
No, that's psychotic. That's
Mom
not
hates
an
that
unpopular
too.
opinion. That's psychotic. It's just that's
Why
anarchy.
is that?
No.
You know what? Actually, my unpopular opinion isn't even that it should go under more than over. I mean, I do think that. I will stand on that. But I also think that what is the huge debate about over and under? Because
Yeah.
I like it under. I prefer it under. I like that. But if it's over, I'm not also one of those people that's
Yeah.
like you
I
keep your
like
toilet
it.
paper over instead of under.
I like it just standing up so that I can take it and just,
Yeah.
you know, that's not true.
I purposely take it off the
Yeah, I
roll.
take it off the roll. How about this though?
Imagine if
I
someone
will
came to
say
your house and just started doing that every
if
time.
I go like to a hotel and I go in and it's by the way, uh props to the hotel people who always make that nice little arrow on the bottom. They fold the first piece into that arrow. But if I go into a hotel and it's the wrong way, and it almost never is, because notice I said it's the wrong way. But I'll switch it.
Oh,
I'll switch it.
you can't really, thinking about it, I mean, you can't do the fancy designs if it is rolled under. So maybe that's why you don't like it. Because you can't get a fancy
That's
arrow
true.
design
Yeah,
if it's
that's true.
under
The
instead
arrow's
of
not good.
over.
That right there tells you that.
Enough.
Yeah, that proves that there is a right way,
People
and
feel
it's
real
over.
passionate about that,
Yeah.
about the way that toilet paper goes. I don't feel passionate about it, but I do prefer it under. I think you don't see it. So if somebody
So
tears it off, like
it's torn. Okay,
a
well,
jagged edge or something, you
yeah,
don't see it.
I could
That's
see
not why I
I could see your
prefer it.
argument. Like that
I think
that's
it rolls better if it's under as well. I
See,
don't
I
know.
don't
There's just
that
a lot of
I
things.
feel like it doesn't roll. That my reason has nothing to do with aesthetics of the arrow or anything like that. My opinion is based on the fact that when you pull, if it's under, it's gonna kind of get jammed on itself. If it's over, it's just
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've never had that experience,
yeah. I mean,
and
it hasn't happened, but to me. But then again, it's always over. So, but
I've
it seems
noticed
like it would happen.
I've noticed that a lot of the people who feel passionate about it, they're over people.
They're over.
Like the ones that really like cause a fuss about it are the people who prefer it over.
Okay.
The people who prefer it under, I feel like we're more laid back about it.
Yeah. Okay. If you say so. You're probably right. No, that's probably right. I'm just realizing that most of my unpopular opinions, it's too early in our podcast life for me to give them. So no,
Oh my
I'm still working on it.
goodness.
I had a really good one when we first started talking, and
It's okay. Like
old
I
people
said,
problems.
I have a lot of them. I have a
Okay.
whole list of them. Not a whole list of them. I really don't have that many, but so my next one is that listening to podcasts is better than listening to music.
That's an unpopular opinion.
That's an unpopular because like some people like
it depends on your goal.
I guess it depends who I'm talking to,
and
but
how
I
much
guess that's
time you have.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm driving from here to Target, which is like 5 minutes from the house, I'm not putting a podcast on in the car.
Yeah, but even then, you're just gonna have the radio on. Like you don't care if it's music or anything.
True.
You're also not
True.
purposely putting
Yeah,
music
I'm not
on.
purposely putting music on.
Unless
true.
I'm like going somewhere, like I'm getting ready to like go somewhere, whatever, and I'm trying to be in a more like upbeat mood.
Yeah.
But even then, I have podcasts for that sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
I will. There is a time and place for music, but
Well,
I think
I'll say this: I feel like you're gonna, good, bad, or indifferent, you're gonna learn more listening to a podcast than you, and that right now seems like a biased opinion, but than you are like just listening to music. And I'm all for listening to music, but yeah, I mean, but I didn't really know that was an unpopular opinion, so that
I'm just assuming it's
or
an unpopular
it wasn't an opinion
'cause
at all.
I think that a lot of people prefer to just listen to music doing
Right.
certain things.
Right.
So, I think sometimes a podcast is
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I'm not really on the audiobook train, but
yeah, no.
like I'll listen to music for a little bit if I'm doing something, but I feel like listening to music gets a little, it gets a little old after a point.
Yeah.
Once you're listening. I mean, again, I guess it depends on your environment and what you're doing. Like if I have a bunch of people over, I'm not going to be like,
yeah, you're like,
y'all
hey,
mind
let's
if I
put
turn on
Joe
this
Rogan
podcast?
on. Yeah, nobody's doing that. No offense to Joe Rogan, but yeah, nobody's putting a podcast on.
Yeah, like obviously then I'm gonna have
unless I don't know, that could happen though. You could have some people. Hey,
hey guys, come over for game night. While we play games,
we're gonna
instead of
listen to
some
the A&M
music.
podcast.
Yeah, You should do that
Yeah.
during game night. We'll
No,
create conversation topics for you
that's
guys.
true.
But
Well, yeah,
yeah, I think that's an unpopular opinion.
yeah.
I mean, I cheated a little bit, and I kind of like just scrolled down a list of
Oh,
175
oh, okay.
unpopular opinions.
Unpopular.
It
As
kind of
long as you
sparked my
didn't
memory.
ask ChatGPT
No,
for
I
it,
didn't
because
ask
that's
ChatGPT.
cheating.
I never think about asking ChatGPT for things like I should.
I do that. We're gonna get off topic, but just a little bit. But
Commercial break.
there's an unpopular opinion, right? That things like ChatGPT are somehow cheating, and they can be cheating,
It is
right?
cheating.
No,
You're doing like your homework with ChatGPT.
no, but it depends on what you're using it for. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. In my job, there are times where I've got to find a solution to a problem that is something outside of my knowledge base. And, prior to something like OpenAI, like ChatGPT, my solution would be I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to find an article somewhere, somebody having this same software issue, and they're going to have the solution. Only 90% of the time, I'd spend a lot of time looking for the right solution, because it would be you'd find, 100 people with the same problem, and it would take you that long to get to somebody that had, that somebody had answered them with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that, in that scenario, ChatGPT does a better job. It doesn't always get the answer right, but it gives me an answer that may lead me in the right direction. So that's an example of, a scenario where it's not. Now, if you're in college and you're having it write your term
My
paper or
English
something
paper,
like
yeah.
that, yeah, that's completely cheating. Even other
ChatGPT, write
job,
me a paper about.
yeah, even other job related things. I don't think it's like it's bad to
No,
use it.
not job related things, because that's not really like a test.
Right, right, and it's not. You're not
Like
using
my
it
job
in a
wouldn't
way.
care about if I use ChatGPT. I don't think I could use ChatGPT for my job, but I don't think they would care about
Yeah,
me using something like that if it like. I mean, they just care about the work getting done. They
right.
don't care how I found out. But my English teacher might.
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT isn't cheating either. I agree with
No,
you.
it depends on the use, but that's an unpopular opinion, I think.
Oh, this is a good one. I don't know how you feel about this actually. Um, I think pineapple on pizza is great.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's such a controversy.
I don't either.
More than any
But
other topping. That's
go,
like you saying you don't like peppers. Okay,
yeah,
well they're good on pizza. So is pineapple.
yeah. And
It's just
going
another
back to
topping.
the toilet paper discussion, I feel like the anti pineapple on pizza people are very passionate about it.
Very
Like they're
passionate.
just not like, yeah, it's not for me.
I wonder how many of them have even tried pineapple on
Could
pizza.
be. I know people who, when it comes to beer, are very adamant about not, no fruit in beer. So like, a Blue Moon
Oh,
with a slice of
which is
orange in it.
crazy
They're
because
like,
that's the best kind of beer. But
yeah,
also, I'm not really a
yeah,
beer
you're not
drinker,
a
so of course
big
I
beer
don't want
drinker.
it to taste like beer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
But isn't
I am a
fruit?
beer drinker, and I like all kinds of beer. I'm an equal opportunity beer drinker. So I don't, I'm not like, oh no,
Isn't
no
fruity
lime in the
beer?
Corona or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, they
So
don't even like that. I was gonna say, isn't fruity beer like a cider? But they don't. They wouldn't
no,
even like a orange
yeah, they're
slice.
literally talking about like putting fruit, or I guess the person that expressed this opinion was kind of a beer
Connoisseur.
connoisseur. Yeah. They were talking about like even like brewing beer and putting blueberries in it, those kind of things.
Oh, that sounds
Um,
delicious.
yeah. So I disagree with that one. See, I disagree with that. So
You
does
disagree
that
with
make
which
me
one?
the unpopular opinion or
Oh,
them
you
though? I don't
disagree
know.
with the
I don't
people not thinking that fruit
not
should be in a
thinking that fruit
beer.
should be in beer, right?
Um,
I say if you don't like it, don't drink it.
yeah,
It's easy
makes
enough
sense.
solution. Same thing with the pineapple pizza. If you don't like it, don't order it on your pizza.
I think it's because of the sweetness. Like some people don't like sweet tomato sauce, and I like a sweet tomato sauce. Who is it that is it Papa John's that does
Yeah,
like they have like a
Papa John's
sweeter
is
sauce? I
sweeter. Yeah,
love a sweeter sauce. Maybe it's
but
because
I
I get
like Papa
heartburn.
John's pizza. but it's not my like go-to pizza. But
Papa John's is good for certain moments. Just like Domino's, they're good for a thin crust. Anyways, yeah, pineapple on pizza for the win.
okay,
I had it a long time ago, you know. I had it a long time ago with because I know a lot of people do like it's the Hawaiian pizza.
right,
So a lot of people will do it with pepperoni.
right.
But I prefer it with grilled chicken.
Uh,
There's a pizza
I don't
place
think I've
out
ever had
by
it grilled chicken and pineapple.
yeah, so good. There's
Yeah, I don't
a
think I've ever had that.
there's a pizza place out by Menchie's.
Okay,
And they that's where I tried it. So good. Delicious.
so, but I think when they traditionally isn't Hawaiian pizza pineapple and ham. I feel like it's pineapple and ham.
Oh, it might be pineapple
I
and ham,
I
yeah.
could be wrong.
I was just thinking
If anyone
pepperoni
listens to this
in your
and
Hawaiian.
you know the answer to that, please comment
Yeah,
and
let
let
me.
us know.
I think it is ham probably. I was thinking pepperoni just because pork, but yeah, ham is too.
So recently, here's probably I think I would be the unpopular opinion on this, but there's a lot of talk about them eliminating or making it that cell phones in schools aren't allowed.
Oh,
Banning, that's the word I'm looking for. Banning cell phones in schools for kids. And I know like a lot of people think, oh yeah, they shouldn't have those with them in school. It's a distraction. Um and I get that argument, but I think you can like regulate it per se. Like, I don't want to see that somebody like doom scrolling while they're in class, but to ban them completely in schools, with a lot of the situations that have gone on in schools, um, like if I still had any kids in school, I would want them to have a cell phone,
for sure.
um, so that if there was ever a question about something or if there was an emergency or anything like that, that I
Hmm.
knew I could get in touch with them. Now, you know, I mean, when I was a kid, if I needed to get in touch with my parents during the school day, I'd have to go down to the office and
Yeah.
and
Pretend I'm
when you were
sick.
younger, yeah, exactly. Um, but but like today, just with everything that goes on, I would always want that ability to
You're
get in
pro cell
touch.
phones in school.
Yeah, I'm pro cell phones in school.
Okay, I think I am too. I would agree with that one. I would agree with that unpopular opinion. I feel like that's more of a popular opinion, maybe
D-
though. It
I
depends.
don't. I
I
see.
think
The news stories I've seen about it. It seems to be
they're
very.
trying to ban it.
Yeah, it's very trendy right now with a lot of the school boards.
Mm.
Voting on banning cell phones in school. I don't. You know,
That's no
I
different
just.
than like when you're working, before I was working from home when I was in an office, like you technically weren't supposed to have, your cell phone out, which it's always funny to tell grown adults like
Yeah, yeah.
to like
Put that
parent
away.
grown adults like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
have like
Well,
50-year-olds in my office
yeah,
just
and
like,
it's funny
sorry.
because like when cell phones first started becoming that everybody had them,
Hmm.
um, and there were places I worked where they were making rules about about that, and it was just always kind of funny because
Yeah.
well back then no people weren't there was no doom scrolling because
Yeah.
you had that
You just had it
little
to like
screen this
literally
big
text
and
and
yeah
call.
yeah so
Mm.
nobody was really messing with their phones too much during the day.
Yeah, I feel like, it's no different than if you're doodling on it. People are going to get distracted either way.
Yeah.
Um, oh, wait, what was the other one? Hold on. I had a good one. It was the one I just was talking to you about. Okay, so this is, and I feel passionate about this one as well. And back in the day, I actually used to have to do this, and I hated it. I hated being on. I don't honestly, I don't like being on either end of it, and that is the new culture because I've noticed it at a few different places. I guess I don't go to too many places, but I've noticed that a lot of people are trying to like adapt it,
Hmm.
and that is drive-through workers and also just like the curb, like bring it to you. Drive-through places coming up to your window and taking your order. I feel like I hate that.
What do
I hate it.
you what do you mean like
Like how
um
Chick-fil-A does it, but a
I
lot of
didn't
other
want to mention any
places.
restaurants but
Oh,
That's
well,
okay.
sorry.
But but yeah, Chick-fil-A. You mean
Everyone knew who we were
how they
talking about
walk up?
anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But
A lot of other places are adapting it because
see,
they think it's like more friendly and more personable
see, I
and
don't feel like they do that because for friendliness. I think they do it for
speed.
efficiency. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they
maybe.
do it because they can get like
Ugh,
four people out there going up to cars taking orders. And you know, like their drive-through line is ridiculous if you go there at the right time of the day, and they do keep people moving through. So, I mean,
yeah.
I yeah, I know what you're saying about somebody coming up to your
Mm-mm.
car, um, but I mean,
I just
yeah,
hate
I don't
somebody
know.
being like, "Hey, what can I get for
Yeah,
you?" Like
yeah,
right in your
yeah,
face, like
yeah.
right at your window.
Mobile ordering is the way around that.
You know what I
You know,
really, you know what I hated it the most? Um, when I drove Rattles.
oh yeah,
Because
yeah, driving a noisy car.
that car was so loud, and
Yeah,
it's just really I didn't really go to like in a drive-through at all
yeah.
at that point because it was
The
just so
and I don't
embarrassing.
remember what car it was, but there was one that we had like years ago that had power windows, but the power windows didn't work or they were glitchy, and I would hate because I was that guy, you ever
Opening
behind
the
the guy
door.
and he opens the door to go to pay at the drive-through, and now because that had happened in the past, I
Yeah.
feel bad for him. I'm like, oh, look at
Yeah.
that poor guy, got to open the door, and then he didn't pull up enough because he pulled up to where the window would be, but now he's opening the door and the window's behind him. And
My unpopular opinion is being too in my head and thinking everyone's like thinking too much into my life. Like every time when that car was like loud and noisy,
yeah,
like it's just the perspective that like you're on everybody's mind, which
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
maybe just you know too confident. But
yeah,
like when I would go through the drive-through in that noisy car, all I was thinking was like, ugh, this worker is probably like, why are you here getting a Starbucks coffee? You should use that money to fix your
yeah,
car.
yeah, right. Yeah, especially something like Starbucks where it's like,
It's like pointless,
yeah.
pointless
Actually, now that
spending.
you say that, I think there was a time recently where I was at Starbucks and I was behind somebody that had to open the door, and I did that thought did go through my mind is like, just save that $5 and
That $5
put it
isn't
in your
gonna do
car.
nothing. If I'm not spending it on Starbucks, I'm spending it on something else stupid
Yeah.
probably.
So now this is off topic, but since we're talking about drive-throughs, so have you ever had the experience where you go, the whole pay it forward thing at like Starbucks is known
Oh
for it, but
yeah.
um, have you ever had the experience though where you go there and they tell you the person in front of you, paid for yours, and you're like, oh well, let me get the guy behind me, but then you ask, well, wait, how much is the guy behind me? Because like, I was gonna spend $8 because we were
Yeah.
buying two coffees.
Yeah.
But, if the guy behind me was buying them for
That
like a whole
yeah.
office, then that's, I like suddenly, and that's what happened was the guy in front of us got ours, and I was like, well, okay, let me get the guy behind me. How much is his? And I
Yeah.
think ours was going to be eight. I think it's always like 8.45. Well, his was 17, and I said, we just your mom and I kind of looked at each other and said, yeah, yeah, we'll get it, and we
Because you just
realized
felt
like
bad being like,
the guy in
nah.
front of us, good deed, cost me more money. Because I didn't want to be the one, to stop the pay it forward
You
chain.
know
I
what's
never want to be like,
okay?
I would feel like such a jerk if I looked behind me and and I did have one time where we went and somebody did that and there was nobody behind me. So it was like
Um,
actually, okay, well, I'm not going to say I'll get the next person because they're not here.
okay. So after working at a place that people would do that at, um, I always looked at it like, and I love the pay it forward
Yeah,
idea.
I do
I
too.
do. I think it's so nice to, pay for somebody's whatever. Like I would love to one time like just be in the grocery store and like pay for the
Yeah.
person's groceries like in front or behind me or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, we always said if we ever hit the lottery, we'd love to walk through like a Walmart or a Target around Christmas and look for somebody who was like shopping for their kids
Yeah.
and just pay for it for them,
But like
or
you
go in and pay off a bunch of people's layaways because if somebody's putting
I don't think they
Christmas
do
on
layaway
layaway. Yeah, some
anymore.
stores. Well, I don't know. There
Kmart
were
used to
stores that
back in
were
the
still
day.
doing it. I think Walmart
Um
does it again. I don't know. I don't
Walmart
go
would
there
do it,
often.
yeah. But I also feel like the pay it forward situation, maybe this is an unpopular opinion as well,
There we are.
actually, but because I love the concept of it of, I'm in front of you at the drive-through. Oh, hey, get the guy behind me's order. Like he's by himself. Like hopefully
Yeah.
he's just getting,
Right.
not ordering for the whole
Right.
office and costing me, $50 in coffee, but if so, whatever. I'm doing a good deed. So, I think I hate it when it's just like a chain though,
Right.
because now that one good deed to like me pay for your coffee behind me now is turning into like, and you're paying it for the person, like nobody's getting it free except now
The
the
last
last
guy.
person in the line
That's it. I
who's
was that
like
last guy once though. No, see you're
who's like,
assuming though,
nah, my
cuz
coffee's $2, their order's 50. I'm not trying to do
yeah,
that today.
that's what I was going to say
I
is
didn't
that
come here to
there's
go do a
somebody
good
in
deed.
that chain, potentially there is somebody in that chain that says, "No, I'm okay, thanks," and they just drive off. They're not saying, "No, I'm not paying it forward." They're just going, "Oh, wow, great, thanks," and they're taking their coffee and going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I
True.
don't. Here's this might be an unpopular opinion because there are probably a lot of people who would think that that person's a bad person, and I don't think they're a bad person. I think
No, we
you
always
know,
got it. Like anytime that I would be there and people would do it, and the person who would be like, "Oh no," like people would ask all the time, "Oh, how much is the order behind me?" And
yeah,
then you tell them, and it would be significantly more
yeah,
than
yeah,
theirs, and they'd be like, "Nah, not today."
yeah,
I feel like that person might do it another time, but we as like even as a worker there, you're like, yeah, I get it. Like
yeah,
your coffee's $4. I wouldn't want to spend more than
yeah.
I came here to
Yeah,
spend
you
anyways.
went there to get a coffee, and the person behind you is getting it for
Yeah.
like six people. Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah.
Then I have one other like sort of related story. There was one
Mhm.
time where we were going into a Starbucks drive-through, and um, I noticed that there was a police car like following me, and I didn't know if I had maybe not stopped long enough at a stop sign
Mhm.
or had been going a little bit over the speed limit or something. But he was following me for a little while, and when we turned into Starbucks, I'm like, oh, he's definitely gonna pull me over, and I think your mom had even said that like, oh, you kind of rolled through that stop sign back
Ugh,
there or
my
something
heart
like
would
that. So
sink.
yeah, so I was nearly sure this guy was going to pull me over. So we got into the line and he didn't turn the lights on yet. Uh, and so we got in the line and we ordered and we get up to the window and he's still behind me and I don't know if this prevented him from pulling me over, but I said, let me get the coffee for the officer behind me too. So I paid it
Oh,
forward to the cop. But it was,
that's
I mean, it was
nice.
almost like a bribe, though. I feel like it might have been a subliminal bribe to be like, because I didn't get pulled over. So I don't know if I was supposed to get pulled over and that prevented it, or if it was just, yeah,
No, he probably, a lot of like police officers and firemen and EMTs and stuff, they get discounts or free food at a
yeah.
lot of places.
Oh wow. So
I don't know if they did at
so
that place, but
yeah.
I
So potentially they weren't going to charge him, and I just paid for it. I don't know what that means. Um,
Not to say like don't do good deeds because I don't know every
yeah,
place, but
yeah,
but I think like the whole thing of like even doing something like that anyways, it just
yeah,
encourages you to maybe do something
yeah.
nice another time, even if you don't do it that time.
Yeah, and I also can kind of see where you're coming from on the whole chain aspect of it because if you're doing it because you want to do it because you're like,
Yeah.
you feel good, you want if
Like
you're
I
doing it
just got
because you're like,
paid, let me go here and pay for someone's
yeah,
coffee because I want to just do something nice.
yeah,
And now I've, while doing that, made everyone in this line feel
feel like,
bad,
yeah,
like they have to pay for the
yeah.
person behind them, and that's
It
like
just,
not what my good deed was
the
for.
good thing about it is it doesn't like if there's 10 cars behind you, but like the third car is like, no, I'm not doing that. The rest of the people behind them are they're they're off the hot seat, you know.
True. True, but yeah, that's what
So
I'm not into the whole chain.
the chain, the pay it forward chain.
The pay it forward chain, yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
Okay, so this is kind of my last one, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, cereal is a better dessert, like late night snack type of food than breakfast.
So are you arguing that it's
That
not
no, that it
that
is.
it isn't a good breakfast?
I think
or you think
cereal.
it's? I don't. Are you arguing that I'm confused by this
I
one?
know plenty of people who would agree with me, but I also know a lot of people like you who don't agree
Well, I don't.
that
I don't even know what you're
cereal
saying.
cereal is a better snack at nighttime. Like a
Huh.
dessert or snack at night than like breakfast. Like I don't
Yeah.
really care about waking up in the morning and eating cereal for
Oh, okay. So
breakfast.
you're saying you'd rather have it as a snack in
Yeah.
the evening than
Like right now, sitting down on the couch
you'd
like
eat a
with a
bowl of
bowl of
cereal.
cereal.
Yeah.
Not like a big bowl of
I mean,
cereal, just like a little, bowl of cereal for a snack.
yeah.
Way more than
Like,
cuz cereal's so sweet a lot of times.
yeah.
Even like the like older people
Yeah.
cereal, like
The old
Raisin
people
Bran that I
cereal is.
like, it's still kind of
Yeah.
like a sweeter snack.
Yeah.
Same with donuts. Like donuts.
I.
Like donuts are a good snack, but like,
Yeah.
am I waking up in the morning like,
That's true.
ooh,
Yeah, see, I
about to
can't
take
do a
down a
donut.
donut for
Yeah, I can't
breakfast?
do a donut for breakfast because first of all, it's all sugar and your body burns it off in about like a half hour and then you're
No
starving again.
nutrients. That's how I feel about cereal as
They're
well.
delicious, but they're not good in the morning because of that. So like
Yeah.
if I'm eating a Krispy Kreme, to your point, I'm more likely to be eating it at like 7 o'clock at night because we decided to make a Krispy Kreme run than I am to have one in the morning if the box is still here. So
Exactly. Even if the box is still here in the morning, you're not going to
yeah,
be like, can't wait to wake up and eat that Krispy Kreme for
yeah,
breakfast.
no. Now
Donuts
now
are,
now I'll say this: if you're talking about like sweet things for breakfast, I would love something like what is it, the McGriddle, that kind of thing, or
I've never had one of those.
whatever there's one of them that Wawa has that's like that too, where it's like French toast with
Oh,
egg and sausage on it.
I don't really
So it's
like
got the little
anything
sweet thing.
sweet.
Oh, it's good though. It's good. It when I first heard of it, it sounded gross,
French
and then
toast
I
with the
tried it.
egg. French
Yeah.
toast technically has egg in it. French toast is probably the only sweet breakfast that I do like. I just don't think anything sweet for breakfast is good unless
No.
it's like
What about
a.
smoothie?
That's good. Okay, that's good, but that's I don't know. That's fruit, so it's different. It makes you
Yeah.
feel better.
True.
Feel different. It's like a healthy milkshake type vibe. Like instead of ice cream, you put yogurt in it or just ice or whatever. That's different. But yeah, cereal for dessert, not breakfast. You eat cereal for breakfast
I
sometimes.
do. I do. It's usually if I'm just like running late and
Oh,
I'm
or oatmeal. Oatmeal, I'll eat
oatmeal.
oatmeal
Yeah.
for breakfast. Like
Yeah.
obviously oatmeal is not something I'm gonna like
Yeah.
heat up
Oatmeal at
right
night
now.
would be weird. Yeah. Yeah,
You
but
see
I
me
could
come
do
into
it.
the couch with a
But
bowl of
okay,
oatmeal.
and this might be an unpopular opinion too. What do you think about like breakfast for dinner?
I
Like,
like breakfast for dinner, but I've
yeah.
met some people who have never had
There's also
breakfast for
people
dinner.
met people who were like opposed to breakfast for dinner. They're like,
Yeah.
no, you can't eat that.
Like, why would you eat breakfast for dinner?
Like I will not be
What?
tied
Breakfast
down. If
will
I was
be
on the other
time.
side of the world, dinner time would be breakfast time. It's
I
8 a.m. somewhere.
I was talking to someone about this the other day, and they said that they never had breakfast for dinner, like growing up. And I was like, what? Breakfast for dinner when I was
Yeah,
growing up was like,
that was always like
yeah, we're having breakfast
yeah,
for dinner, pancakes for
yeah,
dinner.
yeah.
What?
That was when you guys were kids too. It was usually there's nothing to make. We don't have anything in the house to make for
Yeah.
dinner. I don't feel like
No
going
leftovers,
getting
really.
anything. Yeah. Or I don't feel like making anything at this point. So let's
Breakfast
just
was easier.
make some scrambled eggs and pancakes
Oh
and
my gosh, that was the
yeah.
best.
Also, well, I guess so. Here's a really good unpopular opinion.
Ooh,
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right? They say that. They
yes.
really say that you should eat more calories at breakfast than you do at dinner.
That's because you have more of the day to burn it off.
Yeah, but I disagree with
Like if
that. I
I'm
mean,
eating pasta in the morning, not like
right?
I'm up like, encouraging spaghetti for breakfast,
Yeah,
but
because we're not elf.
it's but it's really the when you think about it, the perfect time to eat
Yeah,
pasta is first thing in the
first thing.
morning.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't. It,
You have the whole
for
day to burn it off.
me, and I get up in the morning, and I usually do like a run or a Peloton class or something like that.
Mhm.
And even with that, like I can't eat a lot at breakfast time. Like
Yeah, you don't
I
really.
eat breakfast every day,
Yeah.
but I can't eat a lot.
I don't eat breakfast at all. I just don't think
See, because the thing to me too about breakfast
that's
is
why I
though,
like it for dinner.
like if you're somebody who has breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Yeah.
you're eating at breakfast, let's say 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. You're having lunch in like 3 hours. Or 4 hours or whatever.
Mm.
So you're eating that, then you're having another meal, and then like 5 hours or 6 hours after that, or if you're old like me, like 3 hours after that, because us old people eat at 3 o'clock.
You don't eat at
Just
three
kidding.
o'clock.
But no. Depends on
You're on your
depends
Starbucks
on
by
what
three
happy hour.
o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. But depends on like what time happy hour
Oh,
starts.
true.
But anyway, and then like 5 or 6 hours after that, you're having dinner, and then
Mm-hmm.
after you eat dinner, unless you're like a fourth meal person or a late night snacker, you're going from like let's say 6:30, 7 o'clock at night until 8 o'clock the following morning,
Mm.
and your body you're sleeping during some of that, so your body's not using as much, doesn't need as much energy, but it is a longer period of time that you're going
That's where
between.
intermittent fasting comes in. A lot of people think intermittent fasting is the way to go
Right.
because you're
See, I do. I intermittently fast.
because you're eating
Like
during
when
like
the time I consider intermittent fasting the time periods between when I eat.
yeah, between
Like
breakfast and lunch,
maybe an hour,
lunch and dinner.
right? Yeah, I'm intermittently fasting in between there.
No, they're talking like you start eating, you have your first meal at noon,
Right.
and then you have your last meal by 8 o'clock. Like
Yeah.
last, like anything, like
See,
strawberries from the fridge, not after
yeah,
8 p.m.
yeah,
And then you're going until noon the next day.
yeah. I don't. And this will be probably my final unpopular opinion, but
Mm-hmm.
not just for the show, not for my life. But
Yeah, right.
um,
We'll do
and
another
and
episode
again,
of this
and
later.
again, most of my unpopular opinions I have not expressed here. But things like intermittent fasting, like any of those, and now the big thing is, all of the like the type 2 diabetes drugs that they're giving people for weight loss
Oh,
drugs. That
that's a
any
big
of
one.
those are good. I don't think anything that's like the problem with things like intermittent fasting or keto or any of those.
I don't think intermittent fasting because you adapt to that. Like your
I
body
guess. I
kind of
mean,
adapts to that.
if
Like
you're
I
if
kind
you're
of intermittent
changing
fast in a
the
way.
the point to me is like to really do something that's sustainable, you've got to change.
Lifestyle.
Yeah, you've got to change lifestyle, and it doesn't mean like that you can never eat that donut at 7 o'clock at night from Krispy Kreme or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. What it means is that you have to change the way you think about that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like too many of those things, like keto is another one, that you kind of set yourself up for failure because you're
Mm-hmm.
depriving your body of something. Like in the case of keto, you're depriving it of carbs, which is something that you know people can say we don't need them, but our bodies crave them.
Mm-hmm.
And um, with the intermittent fasting, that is different because you're just saying I'm not going to eat during these hours.
Yeah.
But even that, I feel like at some point you're setting yourself up for failure because it's
I
just
think
too
it's
rigid.
with that I think it's different because it's not like during those hours that you're eating, you're not changing your diet. You're just
Right.
changing
You're
like
just
your hours. So like
yeah.
there's plenty of days that now I don't know if they count like drinking coffee, like drinking beforehand, but
Yeah.
like there's plenty of days that I wake up, I'll start working, and then my first meal of the day is at like lunchtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I eat dinner at a pretty normal time most times.
Yeah.
Like there's not too many times that I'm eating after 8. So
Right.
I feel like,
Yeah, you
that's
kind of are doing well, and
mhm.
the less extreme versions of intermittent fasting, it's like there's a version where you only do it for 12 hours, which means you don't eat
Yeah.
anything after 8 p.m. or before 8 a.m.
Like that you can make more
That's
lifestyle because
that's
you're
more,
not,
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
unrealistic like a juice cleanse.
Yeah, yeah, but I guess maybe the better comparison is things like keto and
Mm-hmm.
God help the people that are going on those diabetes drugs
Yeah.
just to lose weight because there's no magic pill if you don't change the way that you think about think about food and the way your whole attitude towards it, you know, you're just gonna find yourself back at the same place.
Let him know, Dad.
That's my final unpopular opinion for the show.
Well, I think that's a good one to end on.
And
That was
that's a
pretty
popular
fun.
opinion because I agree.
Yeah.
So, hope you enjoyed this. If you haven't already, make sure you follow us on all the podcast platforms. I think we're everywhere now.
We are.
And hey, share us with your friends if you really enjoyed it.
And
Comment
Instagram.
and yeah,
And
make
TikTok.
sure you get in touch with us on whatever platform you're watching us on. Thanks.
Bye.